Hello students, I am Meena Madam. Today we have to see the exercise of very first chapter. Almost all questions in this exercise are objective. One thing more, here I am not reading the statements. I will use only the number of the statements. So let us start with very first question. In very first question we have to write democratic, undemocratic or not sure against each statement. So in very first question, A is undemocratic, B is not sure, C democratic, D not sure. In second question, also we have to write democratic, undemocratic or not sure against each statement. Here A is undemocratic, B is democratic, C is undemocratic and D not sure. In third question, the option D is not a good argument in favor of democracy, since almost all surveys state that the economic condition of people in dictatorship is much more better than that of democracy. In fourth question, we have to separate a democratic and an undemocratic element from each statement. So in A, democratic element is that the parliament has to pass some laws in order to conform to the regulation decided by the World Trade Organization, whereas undemocratic element is that some laws have to be passed by the parliament. In B, democratic element is that the election commission ordered repolling in a constituency, whereas undemocratic element is large scale ragging was reported. In C, democratic element is that women's organization demand 1/3 seats for women, whereas undemocratic element is that women's representation in the parliament has barely reached 10%. Now, in fifth question, the option D is not a valid reason for arguing that there is a lesser possibility of famine in a democratic country. In question number C, the option D is not a correct method of forcing the government to respond to people's need. In seventh question, all the three statements are undemocratic. We have to tell why. So in A, army can't be allowed to rule the country, even they are most disciplined and corruption-free organization in the country, since they are not elected. In B, even a small number of people are wise, but they are not allowed to run country, since democracy is a government of majority. In C, religious leaders can't be allowed to rule the country, even they give guidance us in spiritual matters, since they are not elected. In question number 8, we have to find out which statement is democratic or undemocratic and why. So here A is undemocratic, since in democracy everyone has right to express out his or her opinion. So in this statement, a daughter has a right to express out her opinion about her marriage. B is also undemocratic, since it is the right of each and every student that their doubts should be cleared by the teacher in the classroom. C is democratic, since the working hours of employees are fixed by the government, and here in this statement employees are demanding for setting up the working hours for their organization. Democratic, since universal adult franchise is one of the feature of democracy. B is undemocratic, since the government should do more and more expenses on education and health for creating human resources. C is undemocratic. In fact, education should be provided in mother tongue, since it makes easy and comfortable for students to understand the matter. D is undemocratic, since people have right to oppose the wrong policies of government. E is also undemocratic, since media is the fourth pillar of democracy. It should be free and fair. In question number 10, we have to see the relation between poverty and democracy. Generally, in democracy, it is seen that rich people are given all the privileges and rights, whereas the poor are still being deprived of. In democracy, rich are getting richer while the poor are getting poorer. In democracy, political parties are run by the money of the rich. That's why they ignore the needs of the poor people. Political parties are run by the money of the rich. That's why this principle is practiced only during election, because without the vote of poor people, our leaders can't win the election and form the government.